Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about a transformative idea, stepping out of the nice girl identity. This isn't about rejecting kindness or abandoning your good heart. It's about recognizing where your energy is being drained, where you're giving up your power, and where you're holding yourself back from the life you truly desire. You see, being a nice girl often means saying yes when you mean no, shrinking yourself to fit expectations, and prioritizing others at the cost of your own happiness. But what if I told you that breaking free from this pattern can unleash a version of you that's authentic, strong, and magnetic? The nice girl archetype often operates on the principle of seeking external validation. It's a way of living that prioritizes what others think over what you truly feel, often leaving you drained, unfulfilled, and disconnected from your own essence. Shifting your energy from pleasing others to owning your truth is one of the most powerful transformations you can make. It's about reclaiming your inner power, rediscovering your authentic self, and breaking free from the chains of people pleasing. At its core, the need to please stems from the fear of rejection, conflict, or being perceived as difficult. This fear can drive you to say yes when you mean no, suppress your opinions to avoid upsetting others, and conform to expectations that don't align with your own values. While this behavior may momentarily smooth interactions or gain approval, it comes at a steep cost: the erosion of your true self. Over time, you may find yourself wondering, who am I really apart from what others want me to be? To shift your energy, the first step is awareness. Begin by observing your actions and motivations. When you agree to something, ask yourself why. Are you doing it out of genuine desire, or is it rooted in an unconscious need to please? This kind of self-reflection can reveal patterns that you might not have been fully aware of. You might notice that your automatic response to requests or demands is to accommodate, even when it creates stress or resentment within you. Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward changing them. The next step is to reconnect with your own truth. This requires tuning into your inner voice, the one that often gets drowned out by the noise of external opinions. What do you truly want? What feels right for you? This process of self-inquiry can be uncomfortable at first, especially if you've spent years prioritizing others' needs over your own. But the more you practice listening to your inner voice, the clearer it becomes. Owning your energy also involves reclaiming your boundaries. Boundaries are not walls that shut others out, they are guidelines that protect your emotional and mental well-being. When you set boundaries, you're not being selfish or unkind, you're being honest about what you can and cannot give. For instance, if someone asks for your time and you're already stretched thin, saying no is an act of self-respect. It's also an act of respect toward the other person, as it ensures that whatever you do give is authentic and wholehearted. One of the most empowering aspects of this shift is realizing that your worth is not tied to how much you do for others or how agreeable you are. Your value lies in who you are, not in what you can provide or how you can make others feel. When you stop seeking validation from external sources and start validating yourself, you create an inner strength that cannot be shaken by others' opinions or judgments. This doesn't mean you become indifferent to others, it means you approach relationships from a place of wholeness rather than lack. As you step into this new way of being, you may encounter resistance both from others and within yourself. People who are used to the nice girl version of you may struggle to adjust when you start asserting your needs. Similarly, you might feel guilt or discomfort as you prioritize yourself in ways you haven't before. This is natural, it's part of the growth process. Over time, as you continue to honor your truth, you'll find that the discomfort fades, replaced by a deep sense of empowerment and authenticity. Ultimately, shifting your energy from pleasing others to owning your truth is about reclaiming your life. It's about stepping out of the shadows of others' expectations and into the light of your own authenticity. When you own your energy, you not only free yourself, but you also inspire others to do the same. You become a beacon of strength and self-respect, showing the world what it means to live authentically and unapologetically. Setting boundaries with grace is one of the most transformative acts of self-care you can undertake. Many people, particularly those who identify as nice girls, often view boundaries as walls that push others away or as acts of selfishness. However, boundaries are neither harsh nor selfish. They are essential expressions of self-respect and clarity, allowing you to preserve your energy, prioritize your needs, and engage with others in healthier, more balanced ways. At its core, a boundary is a line that defines where you end and someone else begins. It clarifies what you are willing to tolerate and what you are not. Without clear boundaries, your time, energy, and emotional well-being can be at the mercy of others' demands and expectations. This can lead to feelings of overwhelm, resentment, and burnout, all while damaging your relationship with yourself. Setting boundaries begins with understanding your own limits. Take time to reflect on where you feel drained, overcommitted, or taken advantage of. Perhaps you've said yes to too many responsibilities, allowed someone to dominate your time, or remained silent in situations that made you uncomfortable. These moments often point to areas where boundaries are needed. Pay attention to the emotions that arise in these situations. Frustration, resentment, exhaustion are often signals that a boundary has been crossed or is missing. Once you've identified the need for boundaries, the next step is to communicate them clearly and assertively. Many people struggle with this step, fearing conflict, rejection, or the perception of being unkind. However, boundaries are not about controlling others, they're about taking responsibility for your well-being. Communicating them doesn't have to be confrontational or aggressive. Instead, aim for honesty and clarity paired with kindness. For example, if a friend frequently calls you late at night when you need rest, you might say, "I value our conversations, but I need to prioritize my sleep. Let's catch up during the day instead." It's also important to enforce boundaries consistently. Setting a boundary is only the first step. Following through on it is where the real transformation happens. If someone disregards your boundary, calmly but firmly remind them of it. Consistency not only reinforces your own commitment to self-care, but also teaches others how to respect your limits. Over time, most people will adjust, and those who truly value you will appreciate the clarity and honesty you bring to the relationship. Guilt is a common emotion when setting boundaries, especially for those accustomed to putting others first. You might worry that you're disappointing someone or that they'll think less of you. But consider this: by setting boundaries, you're modeling self-respect and encouraging others to do the same. You're also ensuring that when you do give your time, energy, or support, it comes from a place of genuine desire rather than obligation or resentment. Another essential aspect of boundary setting is learning to say no without over-explaining or apologizing excessively. Many people feel the need to justify their boundaries to avoid discomfort or conflict, but this often undermines their efforts. A simple, polite "I'm not able to do that" is often sufficient. Remember, you are not obligated to overextend yourself to meet others' expectations, and a respectful no is a complete sentence. Finally, setting boundaries with grace means embracing flexibility when appropriate. Life is dynamic, and so are relationships. There may be times when you choose to adjust a boundary temporarily to support someone you care about. However, this should be the exception rather than the rule, and it should always come from a place of intention rather than guilt or pressure. In essence, boundaries are a profound act of self-love. They allow you to protect what matters most: your time, energy, and well-being, while fostering healthier and more authentic connections with others. When you set boundaries with grace, you're not only respecting yourself, you're also teaching others to respect you. This balance creates a foundation for relationships that are rooted in mutual understanding and genuine care, rather than obligation or overextension. Rewriting the story you've been told is about challenging the narrative that equates being nice with being worthy or lovable. Many of us have internalized the belief that pleasing others, avoiding conflict, and putting ourselves last are virtues. While kindness and empathy are beautiful traits, they should never come at the cost of your authenticity or self-respect. To rewrite your story, start by questioning these ingrained beliefs. Reflect on where they came from: family, culture, or societal norms, and ask yourself if they truly serve you. Then consciously replace them with empowering truths like "my value is not dependent on others' approval," or "it's okay to prioritize my needs." As you embrace this new narrative, you'll find that authenticity attracts deeper connections and greater opportunities. Rewriting your story isn't about abandoning kindness, it's about embodying it in a way that honors your own worth and truth. Embracing discomfort is a vital step in breaking free from the nice girl identity. Growth often requires you to step into unfamiliar territory, challenging old habits and beliefs that no longer serve you. This discomfort isn't a sign you're doing something wrong, it's a signal that you're evolving. When you've spent years prioritizing others' expectations, choosing to prioritize yourself can feel uneasy. Saying no when you've always said yes, or expressing your opinions openly, may bring feelings of guilt, fear of rejection, or even conflict. But remember, discomfort is a natural part of change. It's where transformation begins. Each time you face this discomfort and act in alignment with your truth, you strengthen your self-worth. You teach yourself that your needs matter. Over time, what once felt challenging becomes empowering. You step into a more authentic, confident version of yourself. Growth lives on the other side of discomfort. Visualizing your empowered future self is a powerful tool for breaking free from limiting patterns and stepping into your authentic power. This practice involves creating a vivid mental image of the version of you who lives unapologetically, honors her worth, and moves confidently through life. Visualization isn't just daydreaming, it's a way to align your mind and emotions with the reality you want to create. Start by imagining your future self in detail. How does she carry herself? What choices does she make? How does she respond to challenges? Picture her engaging in relationships, setting boundaries, and pursuing her passions without hesitation. Feel the confidence and ease that radiate from her. When you consistently visualize this version of yourself, you begin to embody her qualities in your daily life. Your actions, thoughts, and decisions start aligning with the vision, making it a reality. Your future self is your guide. Listen to her and act accordingly. Your intuition is a powerful inner compass that helps you navigate life authentically and confidently. However, in the nice girl identity, intuition is often overshadowed by the desire to conform or please others. Reclaiming and trusting this inner voice is essential for living in alignment with your true self. To trust your intuition, start by quieting the external noise. Spend time in reflection, journaling, or meditation to reconnect with your inner guidance. Notice the subtle feelings, thoughts, or nudges that arise when faced with decisions. These are your intuitive signals guiding you toward what feels right. Initially, acting on intuition may feel risky, especially if it challenges others' expectations. But the more you trust it, the stronger it becomes. Intuition leads you to choices that honor your values, helping you create a life rooted in authenticity and fulfillment.